My name is Margaret Wambui Kaniu. I'm from Kenya. Kenya is in East Africa, and I came here to India for treatment when I found that I had cancer in my country, and then I had a surgery there. In fact, my surgery was done in Kenya, but then because I didn't know the extent of the problem, they didn't have a PET scan there, so I decided to come to India for further tests. That is how I landed here. I've been going to hospital nearly every year for checkup. That has been a routine to me. So I used to go to Aga Khan Hospital in Nairobi. It was just a routine checkup. But then during the checkup is when they found a lump in one of my breasts, and they decided to have a further checkup. After that is when they found that actually it was cancerous, and they told me about it, and I asked them what is the next step now after that. They told me the option is just to have the lump removed from my breast. So to start with, I could not agree. I did not think, I could not imagine, because it was something that I never expected. So then they told me they had to have all the tests to verify that it was actually cancer. And within a week or two, all the tests were done, and then they asked me what I want. So I said, if it is cancer, there was no choice. I had to have the operation done, and the surgery was done sometime last year in September. In actual fact, it was on 4th September 2015. The surgery was done in Aga Khan Hospital, Nairobi. And then after the surgery, I stayed for some time. I had to go for the other follow-up there. And during the waiting period, before I started the other chemo and radio, is when I decided to come to India for further tests. And then I stayed for I started now looking for a hospital. I didn't know where to go. And I have a sister. I have my sister in America who is a doctor. She has done medicine. So I communicated with her. She started now looking for a hospital for me. She's actually the one who found this hospital, Dharamshila, among many others, because this is not the only hospital she had applied. And there were quite a number, about 5 of them. But Dharamshila was the first one she communicated with. And still Dharamshila was the first one to reply to me. So after everything, we decided to come to Dharamshila, and that is how I came. And in actual fact, she can add something there, because my sister was communicating direct about this to her. So she's the one, and my sister from America, they are the ones who go to the hospital, and all the details and all the communications, they were coming from Dharamshila through her.
I would like to emphasize that the reason we chose to come to India was because, first of all, our hospitals back in Nairobi, when you start your treatment, they don't give you the full package of what we're expecting. They don't tell you that after this step, you go to the next step. It was all bits and pieces, because even when she was going for surgery, we as a family knew that after surgery, then she's done. She's done with, and there's no more treatment. Only to to be told afterwards that now we have the chemotherapy and the radiotherapy and all the charges. But when we applied in this hospital, they gave us a breakdown of what is supposed to be done depending on what they find and the extent of how far the cancer had gone. They'd given us a full breakdown, so we knew what we were getting ourselves into. We had a rough idea of the period that it would take, something that sometimes back home we do not get. We don't get to know the duration, so that is why again we chose to come to India, where we thought that they were more specialized in such treatment. And yes, and again about the hospitals, yes, this was probably actually the last hospital we applied for. We went online, we googled, we searched, we researched, and every hospital we found, we would email them and then they'd get back to us. But for this hospital, the feedback was actually very good. We would write to them and then they would respond very fast, and they were never quite tired to keep answering all our million questions, because we needed to be sure that we were taking her somewhere that we would feel comfortable and that she would be safe and that she would come back home. So that is why we chose this hospital.
Well, I should say that I've been very happy with the doctors here. I start with the doctors. They are very good doctors. Doctors whom whenever you ask a question, they tell you, they explain to you well. They are very friendly, one thing. And I should say I find them to be qualified. They tell you what to do. They tell you what not to do. And when one cooperates, you get that message and you feel happy. And when you are happy with what you receive, it is also easier for one to get cured fast, because you get that confidence, and especially from the doctor. I like them. I have come to like them so much, and I have seen them to be very good. The doctors whom have gone through have been very, very good to me. I'm very happy, because whatever they tell me, don't do this, I don't do. Do this, I do. And I have seen the results. The results of obedience have been good, because that is why I'm now almost through in my treatment. So I love the doctors, also the staff. They are very good staff. The subordinate staff are good, very cooperative. So in general, I have liked the staff in general of Dharamshila. Oh yes, I won't hesitate. I won't hesitate to recommend anybody to Dharamshila, and especially with a cancer case. I have found them to be good. Since I came here, I have found so many people suffering from cancer. I have seen the response. Some of them have been treated and gone back home to their home country. And also me now, I'm on my way, because I'll be traveling soon. And I would not hesitate to recommend any patient, any cancer patient, because my case was cancer case and I have seen it. They have done it well, so I would no doubt I would recommend anybody with a cancer case to Dharamshila for treatment, because I find them to be good people, good doctors, and no doubt I would not hesitate to recommend patients, cancer patients, to Dharamshila Hospital.
Just to add, we out there, when we send a loved one to a foreign country and a hospital we are not so sure, we don't know about, we just gotten the information through the internet or through the many various ways of getting the information. At the end of the day, the patient, once you speak to the patient and you find that they are content and they are talking, they're happy and they're easy, the people back home and the family members feel at ease as well. We feel comfortable that as much as she's far away, as much as she's in a foreign land, the fact that she's content, the people back home are content, because not everyone would come and accompany her to the hospital. But back home, then we feel safe and we feel content that she's far away, but she's getting the best. So that is why I would also recommend Dharamshila, because she has been actually, I'd say, what is the word? She's really been easy. You talk to her, she's lively, she's going through her treatment, but it was very hard for us to pick it up, because when you speak to her, it was just her being herself. So yeah, anytime we would recommend this hospital.
I would like to tell anybody who has been or who has cancer to believe that cancer is curable if action is taken in time, and if one, the patient obeys the instructions of the doctor. But I know that one can get cured if you follow the instructions, you take the correct drugs. But I know it might not cure immediately as you take the drugs, but with the time, I know one gets cured. And I also believe that with the time, maybe by the end of the year, I'll feel much, much better than the way I came here, because I believe that I would have gone a step ahead with the drugs and the treatment I've received from the doctors and the hospital. So anybody told that he has cancer should not lose hope, should have faith. But because most of the things that make people lose faith and lose hope is lack of finances, because it is not little money that one pays here. I know it is a lot of money. So if you don't have the money, you won't come. But with God's help, because even me, I didn't have much. But we had to have funds, raising funds back home, asking people to help us raise funds to enable me come here. But if one has the funds, I know cancer is curable, and one should not lose hope. One should try everything one can do to try and get the treatment done. Not just say, because now I have cancer, I just go and sit down and wait to die. No. One should not do that. Do the best you can and have the treatment done, and with the time, and in the end, because I know there is light and the end of the tunnel. So I believe that cancer is curable.
To all cancer patients out there, I'd say that cancer is not a death sentence. At the end of the day, the patients themselves determine whether they live or they die, because it starts with one's will to want to live. I believe that what you confess is what you always possess. If you confess death, then that is exactly what you receive. But if you have the will to want to live and to want to fight, then definitely you will get out of it, regardless of the extent. It just starts with that one, the little faith, and that one step to live.